Playoffs, baby.
Wildcard Weekend.
Wild Card Weekend is here.
Turn the music down so you can hear us rather than that.
Fantasy regular leagues are over. DFS
Over.
leagues are still going on if you're playing. And we are here for our 18th show of the year, of our first season.
18 shows. That's crazy. 18 shows. You know, we started back in week 1. We're sitting around on a Saturday night, I think it was. Just two guys talking about beer, food, and football because we love it. And we're still here because we love it. We've had a lot of fun with the show.
Yeah.
We're excited to be here for week 18 and taking you through the playoffs to the Super Bowl and even into the off season. TD's Beers and Tailgates will be around all year, baby.
Yeah. Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Here, do this.
There we go. Yeah, sure. So, yeah, man. Here's what I'm drinking today.
All right.
Ready? I'm just gonna go right in.
Get right into it.
So,
Let's have it.
today it is Wildcard Weekend. The Buffalo Bills are playing, which is awesome. Second time in 3 years. Mr. Sean McDermott. We're gonna drink nothing but Buffalo's own Labatt Blue Light because, man, it is a Buffalo day today. I am stoked. I'm stoked.
Well, there you go. Okay, cool. I am drinking a Midwest Hero by Revolution Brewing out of Chicago. No other reason than that's what was convenient in the garage this morning. Not going to make up any bullshit. Midwest Hero. So here you go. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, brother.
To the Wildcard Weekend, at least for one of our teams.
Cheers to you guys.
All right, let's try this again.
You know, I'm actually surprised. Midwest Hero.
Yeah.
You didn't use the fact that you won the Pie Bowl one. Now we'll get into that, I'm sure, later. But I figured, well, hell, Midwest Hero, sure. You took me down.
Yeah, I sure did.
What the hell's going on
sure.
with all this? Who the hell knows?
I don't know.
Who knows? It is what it is.
Well, that's okay.
We're good.
I'll try it over here, and you keep it rolling.
I will.
I work on our technical difficulties
Hey,
here.
look, here's what I'm wearing today on Wild Card Saturday morning. I'm wearing my Josh Allen jersey because Josh is definitely going to be a big reason Buffalo could win this game today. We're going to have to ride him. He's got to play mistake-free. And you know what? Let's see what happens. So I got to bust out the Josh Allen. And also, wearing this hat right here. And this actually was the hat of a fallen brother of mine, good friend, Mike Carberry, God rest his soul, passed away in 2016. And it's one of his hats. Wearing that today. And hopefully it gives me some good luck with Buffalo.
I know Carberry was a Buffalo fan.
Carberry was a huge Bills fan.
Okay.
Born and raised out here.
I've met him a couple times.
I'll
Back
give you a little backstory on that.
Yeah.
So the reason Carberry was a Bills fan, his brother-in-law happened to be a Dallas Cowboys fan. And in the 90s, obviously Buffalo going to 4 straight Super Bowls, he had an issue with his brother-in-law. Couldn't stand the Cowboys, so he said, I'm going to be a Bills fan just to piss you off. And ever since then, he just became a huge Bills fan. And till the day he died, he was a Bills fan.
Right
so
on.
It was very awesome. Very awesome.
You know, so I already mentioned earlier that I don't have a horse in the race here for the playoffs. Both my Bears and Broncos have been eliminated, unfortunately. So I decided for today to join the Bills Mafia. I wanted to represent one of the teams that was playing today, and out of the 8 teams we got going, that was the most logical choice. So I got a Mario Williams jersey that Buffalo Jay has lent to me for the show.
That's right.
And good reason. Mario Williams, if you remember, was drafted by the Houston Texans, but then ended up on the Buffalo Bills.
Yes, he did. And he did great for both teams.
Yeah, he did. He was a good defensive end. Yep, good player.
I like it. I like it. And you know what? Hey, we got room. There is room on our wagon.
Yep.
Trust me.
Yeah.
You want to start circling those wagons? Hop aboard. It's going to be fun through the playoffs.
Who knows? Maybe Jay's going to throw me through a table later. We'll see.
You know, gotta get him, Bills Mafia style properly.
Absolutely.
So,
get that shit proper.
Cheers to you, man. You look good in that
buddy.
jersey.
Hey,
you look
thanks.
good in that.
Thanks.
Oh, man. Well, I know we got to get into our our Pie Bowl recap that we did last week.
That's a great idea. Let's do that.
We do, but
Uh-oh.
while you go ahead and start this thing off, I actually have to go ahead and unwrap this rack of ribs because we have got the Stampede fired up behind me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meat in this son of a bitch right now.
That's awesome.
But we got a rack of ribs that we're throwing down for the show. I got to unwrap them. They've been on since 5 o'clock this morning. Fucking awesome. We're going to sauce these things up, have them ready by the end of the show.
Okay.
So if you want to give a little background on what happened and how we got to where we got to.
All right, let's talk about the, Buffalo Jay and I have dubbed it Pie Bowl number 1. So if you recall in our last show, actually a couple shows back, we picked 6 random helmets out of a bucket and had to pick a fantasy team from those 6 teams. And then post-show last week, we went farther and picked 3 more teams to pick a kicker, defense, and a flex player. So we put those guys head-to-head on one of our websites and tracked their fantasy points to see who would come out ahead on our picks. And the loser was going to get, or is going to get, a whipped cream pie to the face on the show today.
Yay!
So stick around and be ready for that.
Yay!
So, getting into details here. So, the 6 guys I had before we added the D, kicker, and flex, I had Gardner Minshew, I had Kenyon Drake, DeAndre Washington, Kenny Stills, Kenny Galladay, Tyler Higbee, and post-show, was able to add Bashard Perriman as a flex, Brandon McManus as my kicker, and a 49ers defense. Jay, I was rolling with Matt Barkley, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, T.Y. Hilton, Sterling Shepard, and Jacob Hollister. And post-show, he was able to add Julian Edelman as a flex, Dustin Hopkins as his kicker, and the Bengals defense, which actually did pretty good for him.
Yeah.
So, now, we can go position by position. We can go totals.
I need like 30 seconds.
30 seconds. All right.
30
Well,
seconds.
you do your 30 seconds, I'll do a quick quarterback recap here, and you can jump in as I'm talking.
Go right ahead.
So, quarterbacks, Gardner Minshew versus Matt Barkley. We'll start with Minshew. Minshew, for me, he had 295 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, and a 2.1 pick for 27 fantasy points. Matt Barkley, 232, 2 picks, and a fumble. So he had 8.
A fumble.
So Gardner Minshew, just on that level alone, the quarterback level, Minshew outperformed Matthew Barkley.
That he did. I need a paper towel if you could, real quick.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's go into running backs real quick. And you know what? I had a great one. Derrick Henry. I took Derrick Henry.
That was a beast.
And, 32 rushes, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
40 points in the league that we were in here. Outscored his 2 running backs to combine, which was awesome.
Yep.
And he had his guy Kenyon Drake over there, 12 rushes, 60 yards, had the touchdown. Had 3 catches, 23 yards, finished with 17 points.
Yeah, not bad.
Wasn't too shabby.
Not too shabby. And then a RB2 on both team. Nick Chubb was not so chubby. He 13 carries, 41 yards. That's about, and one reception for a yard. Got him 5 points on Jay's side. DeAndre Washington, for me, was the bell cow back in Oakland against the Broncos. Broncos pulled out that game, which was nice to see. But DeAndre Washington had 77 yards on the ground, 55 yards in the air, and 8 catches to boot for 20 points. Running back-wise, though, combined, Jay's got 45. Mine only had 37 combined, so
Correct.
He got me there.
I did. Let's head into the wide receivers we had for the Pie Bowl.
Yeah.
And I had T.Y. Hilton I was rolling with. Finished with 3 catches, 72 yards. Never did find the end zone. 10 points, not too good. This guy had himself some Kenny Stills. And we're still wondering.
I don't think he played.
If he could have a point or not. He actually did play in the game, but I believe he got injured early and came on out.
What a dick.
Big fat 0 on that one.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kenny. Another wide receiver matchup, Sterling Shepard and Kenny Galladay. He has Sterling Shepard at 5 catches, 39 yards, 8 points, nothing too sexy there. And same with Kenny Galladay, 3 for 72 for 10. So I picked up 2 points on that, but Jay got me by 10 on Hilton over Stills.
Yeah.
And then we got one more, our flex play, Edelman versus Perriman.
Yeah, Edelman versus Perriman. Go ahead, start out.
Brashard Perriman. Brashard Perriman had 5 catches, 134 yards, and a touchdown, so he did much better than his Week 16 performance. He got 24 points in Week number 17 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That was definitely your saving grace, I think.
It was.
Because Julian Edelman here, I thought, boy, pulling the Patriot helmet, what a great flex play there.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman, why not? 3 catches, 26 yards.
Right.
Good Lord. That was just not good. 5 points, and Brashard definitely
He
helped out there.
picked me up a lot of points there. Let's go to tight end. This also helped me out here. Tyler Higbee versus Jacob Hollister. Higbee for the Rams, 8 catches, 94 yards, and a touchdown.
Yep. He
Hollister
continued to stay strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Even with Everett was back, I thought Higbee would be downgraded a little bit, but nope. Goff was going to Higbee quite often. And then Hollister, just 4 catches, 25 yards, and a measly 6 points. So tight end, 22-6 in favor of Sin City.
Yeah. Kicker-wise, you know what? Kicker-wise wasn't too bad. I ended up drawing Washington, had Dustin Hopkins.
Yeah.
And you know what? He had 3 field goals, had an extra point. 10 points. Wasn't too shabby. This guy drew Denver, Brandon McManus. And again, 3 field goals and an extra point.
Yep.
But he had a 50-yarder,
Right.
so got himself a little extra there and had 12 points. So it was nicely done there for you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, both kickers, you get double digits out of your kicker, you should be happy. Defense, though, I was not happy twice in a row. You know, I had the Niners in my championship week, and I happened to draw them again for this. 1 freaking point. What the hell? So they had a sack, and that was it. 1 freaking sack, and they lit up 21 points, so they got a point. Jay, on the other hand, had the Bengals against the Brownies, and Baker Mayfield was kindly enough to throw the ball 3 times to the Bengals for 3 picks.
Yes, he did. It was awesome.
And 6 sacks, too.
Yeah.
So the Bengals defense were a decent defense in week number 17.
They were.
12
they
points.
were. So, anyway, this guy over here, B-Rye, beat me in Pie Bowl 1, the inaugural Pie Bowl. So he gets to do the honors
Let's do
of
this shit.
filling up the pie fucking
I was going to
thing
get like 3 cans of this.
with no. He gets to go ahead and put it in my face, and
Whoa.
that's going to be great. And I just want to say one thing: if I would have switched Jarvis Landry with Nick Chubb and Saquon Barkley for Sterling Shepard,
Yeah.
I would not be doing this right now. It would be you.
Yeah, I
And
know what you're talking about.
this really, really blows. I'm taking off the hat. I don't want. I don't want that. Make sure you get
So-
some paper towels ready.
All right, fine. I thought you were going to have like a big old beach towel out here.
No, I ain't gonna have no
This is gonna be
damn
fun.
beach towel.
Where's the wife? I thought she was going to watch this in person.
Nah.
You know, we have 4 viewers on here to witness this, and you can always catch it again on YouTube or our Facebook page.
Pie Bowl 1.
Are you
I
ready for
lost. You know, it is what it is.
I mean, check this out. Here you go. I mean, I'm kind of jealous. I mean, I love whipped cream. Maybe I'll finish the can off after this. But,
just don't break my nose, please.
I'm not gonna
And that's all
slam it
I'm
in your face.
asking.
I'm not gonna
So,
slam it. You
whenever,
ready?
Yeah, whenever.
You
you're
ready?
Yeah,
Okay, here we go.
you're just
Pie
gonna
Bowl
do it.
1. I
Fucking
win.
blows.
He didn't. And
Yeah, whatever.
and it sticks.
So-
and it sticks.
We could probably finish the show this
So-
way. You know,
Oh shit! I wasn't that mean.
I'm hoping next year I get to have as much fun as this guy's having.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's almost like I got my makeup on,
That
right?
was great. Oh shit!
Man, I could have got more on my lips so my
Just a
tongue
little
could
bit here.
fucking enjoy some of that.
Oh shit! It's empty now.
What the hell?
Sorry.
Ah.
That was fun.
I'm sure it
was a
was.
good
I'm sure that was a blast.
You know, we should do that every week.
He says do it every week. Maybe we should do it for the true false segment.
my god! Oh well, you know the true false this week was pretty good. We'll get into that in a second.
It was.
And
Let me grab
so that's
some
Pie Bowl number 1,
Pie Bowl 1.
and we lost Buffalo Jay. So he'll be back. I'm not sure where he's going. Oh, I got more paper towels. Okay, Pie Bowl number 1 is in the books. We are going to move on when good old Buffalo Jay cleans out some of that whipped cream from his crevices here and get into our turd dropper of the week for week number 17.
Yes.
And also, be prepared. We are going to have a turd dropper of the year come Super Bowl week on our Super Bowl show.
We are. I don't know what the hell to do with that.
You got a little bit...
Yeah, it's there. I'll try to do a little something. Let's get into the turd dropper. It's not me, so probably could be. But who do we got in the toilet seat this week? Who was the turd dropper from week 18? This is going to go out to none other. You're loving this. I know you are.
I love that it's stuck.
This is going to go out to none other than the guy who started off week 1. 9 catches, 198 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, 47 fantasy points in week 1. As we did last week. Played 72% of the snaps.
Yep.
1 catch on 2 targets for 8 yards. Sammy Watkins right there. Sammy Watkins, absolutely irrelevant. I believe I said on week 2 of our show, don't fall for the hype on his numbers. They were absolute garbage. He did awesome, but he is who he is. The last 5 games this season, he was completely irrelevant. He had 0 catches, 3 targets against Oakland. He had 4 catches on 8 targets against New England. 3 catches, 4 targets, 2 catches, 5 targets, 1 catch. He just kept going down all year. Turned into a bust, which I knew he would. That is Sammy Watkins' M.O.
Yep.
Period. He got hurt, much like I said he would.
Yeah.
He is unreliable. Sammy Watkins, boy, people were jumping on that train real quick. But yeah, he is our turd dropper for week 17.
He was the classic example of don't go chasing the points.
No.
We talked about that this season too. Week 1, he had a monster game. A lot of people did draft him. People were going to go pick him up, think they're going to get the waiver wire pickup of the year. Again, look at who it is. Look at, there's a lot more to look at than a big game. So don't always go chasing the points when you're picking up your waiver players. Sammy Watkins, nice knowing you, buddy. And you know what? He's done. I don't think he's going to be back in Kansas City next year. You all right there, pal?
I'm fine. What?
Oh, shit. Okay. Whipped creams happened. Turd droppers happened. Is it already time for
Next
some
year, if I
news?
lose, could maybe some hair pie.
Hair pie. Okay.
Hey,
Sure.
it wasn't a soft voice, man. It's all good. It's all good.
All right. Why don't we get into
Jesus.
news and injuries and that kind of stuff? And what the hell was I doing when I did this?
Man.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get into some. Let's get into that news notes, coaching carousel.
Yeah, there you go.
We don't really need to get into too much of the fantasy player news and stuff like that because not a lot going on. Maybe we'll get into some of the injuries and stuff with the playoff teams.
A little bit.
But that's what we're going to go ahead and do.
I mean, we'll talk about injuries and we can go game by game here. If you look at Houston and Buffalo, I don't think Buffalo has anybody, key that's going to miss the game today. No. And Houston, on their side, Will Fuller still a game time decision. I haven't heard anything this morning.
Yeah.
And he's a big key to Houston's offense.
He really is. And from what I was hearing, Will Fuller, game time decision, as B-Rye just said.
Yeah.
They're really leaning towards him not playing today, which, honestly, to open up that offense,
right.
Deshaun Watson really, really needs a Will Fuller. I don't think Kenny Stills is going to fill that void. Sure, Kenny Stills has some familiarity working with the Miami Dolphins against Buffalo for years, but I think it's going to hurt them, and I think it's going to bode well for Buffalo if that happens.
It does, because just Deshaun Watson's a really good quarterback, and he's really accurate on the deep ball, and without Fuller in there, that hurts quite a bit. And we'll talk more about this game when we get into our game keys later on.
Yeah.
And also another guy on the Texans side of the ball, on the defensive side, J.J. Watt. So he's been out for quite a while, but all signs are pointing to him playing today.
Yep.
So that
he
should help,
he will be out there.
So
The role depends on the role.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if he's going to play all 3 downs, but definitely on 3rd down to get some pressure on the quarterback. So that helps out the Texans a little bit on their defensive side. Moving on to New England and Tennessee. Again, I don't see a lot of Edelman's questionable, but I think he'll play. He's been battling through some injuries for weeks, so I don't see why he would miss this game.
No.
And again, I don't know of any other big names that are out on either side of the ball in that game. Vikings Saints. Kyle Hendricks. It came up on my radar yesterday. The Vikings middle linebacker Kyle Hendricks might be out, so that could be a big blow to the Vikings defense if he cannot go today. Other than that, everybody's looking pretty good for that game. And the Eagles, they finally have their full stable of running backs back with Jordan Howard. Miles Sanders is good to go.
Yep.
This Boston Scott guy is kind of like a another who's a Darren Sproles. He's kind of like Darren Sproles type back.
Yeah.
So they got their full stable of running backs. Still short on the receiver side. Aguilar's still out. Jeffrey's out for the year, and what have you.
I believe no Deshaun Jackson done for the year.
No Deshaun Jackson, and Zach Ertz is not playing. So Dallas Goedert has a good opportunity against the Seahawks here, and the Seahawks. Speaking of running backs, I mean they're down to they have 3 running backs on IR, the top 3.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see if Marshawn Lynch will get how much work he'll get today.
Yep.
The other note I had here, too, Chicago Bears safety, Eddie Jackson. Now the highest paid safety in the NFL. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I definitely don't think he's the best safety in the NFL. Yeah. I like Eddie Jackson. I think he's a great player. But 4 years, $58 million, I don't know if he's worth that.
I thought that was kind of interesting, especially when you got Trubisky's contract's going to be coming up here.
Which
not
we're not
this year,
gonna
next
redo.
year.
Yeah.
Right. But, your GM's all in on him for 2020, which I thought was kind of an odd statement to make at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Especially when they're going to bring in a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But, making him the highest paid defensive back in the NFL is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't think he proved a lot over the year. But, hey,
Nobody
I'm not
really
the
did
Bears
that team.
GM,
Yeah.
so what he's thinking, I have no idea.
And I didn't look at it. I don't know if it's like back end heavy, which hopefully it is. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And then we have a lot of what's up, Kenty Poo. We have a lot of coaching carousel news to talk about. There's Cleveland Browns. So Freddie Kitchens was one and done.
Yep.
Did you see that clip with Baker Mayfield where Freddie Kitchens was messing with him last year on the sideline? It was between, I think the defense had the ball, and he's like messing with Baker's head and beard and that.
No,
and then he walks away. This was on NFL Films, and whoever Baker was sitting next to, he goes, "That guy's an idiot."
Wow, I missed that one.
So yeah, Freddie's one and done. So who are the candidates to coach the Cleveland Browns? There's quite a bit. Pretty much every name that's out there has been linked to the Browns already. I've heard Greg Roman. I've heard Eric Bieniemy, who's linked to pretty much everybody. Mike McCarthy, Urban Meyer, Josh McDaniels, even Joe Thomas, I think, even kind of halfway through his hat in the ring.
Brian Dable, offensive coordinator for Buffalo's in there.
Yeah.
But you got to love, who was it?
Was Leslie Frazier, too? Was he mentioned?
He was not mentioned there with Cleveland. But you know what? They'll probably do it for the stupid reasons. But anyway,
I don't even want to get into that.
I'm not going to get into that.
I was going to mention that about Eric Bieniemy because his name's almost on every team's list. Is he there just because of that?
Exactly, and it's a shame.
Stupid.
It really is a shame that a lot of the teams do that, and whatever. Anyway, the bottom line is, I did hear, wasn't it Baylor's coach? The head coach for Baylor.
Yeah.
He came right out and declined and says,
Matt Rule.
"Yeah, I'm not interviewing with Cleveland. It's not happening."
Nope.
I thought that was awesome.
And, well, again, Matt Rule's another guy. His name's been Carolina Panthers, the Giants, the Cowboys. Rule has been talked about for all those teams.
Yes,
as we talked about the Brownies and, Josh McDaniels, we've seen that show before. Saw it in Denver, and I couldn't wait for him to get the F out of there. So, I don't know. I wouldn't be looking for him high on my list.
Well, that and what he did to Indianapolis, I mean, that was kind of a raw deal.
Yeah,
going to go sign there, and the next thing you know, he pulls out.
As the season's about to start. Oh, just kidding.
And you know what?
He
I
pulled
think
Andrew Luck.
Indianapolis is better off with Frank Reich. Frank Reich is a really good coach, and good job that he's doing with that organization.
Frank
But you know what?
Play football. He played
Hey.
for some team in the Northeast somewhere.
You know, I said it week one. We talked about Cleveland. You know what? They made the wrong choice here. They went ahead and took Freddie Kitchens, made him the head coach, when it should have been Greg Williams. Greg Williams is who got that team to where they were last year. It wasn't Freddie Kitchens. It was because of the experience of that head coach that Greg Williams brings. That's what got him there. They made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And, you know, one and done. Done.
You know, that's a good point, too, with Freddie Kitchens and Greg. Freddie Kitchens had no experience for a team with that amount of personalities, with OBJ,
Way
Baker
too much
Mayfield,
ego.
and even
Way
Landry and
too
everybody
much.
else. Putting a guy who's technically, he was a rookie head coach. I know he's coached as an assistant for years, but that was just stupid. And now the GM's gone too, and they're looking to hire
John
the
Dorsey.
coach before a GM, which is an interesting move.
Well,
so they're going to let the coach pick his boss.
You know, and which is not a bad thing. Buffalo actually did that. We hired Sean McDermott. He came in. Next thing you know, Buffalo got rid of their GM. About a month later, next Brandon Beane.
Yep.
McDermott, high on Brandon Beane. They work together in Carolina. It makes sense. It's a good way. You want the two guys on the same page. You want your head coach to be no. You want your head coach to be happy. I get it. But I think this, as much as I don't think it's going to happen, it really paves the way for Mike McCarthy. Because Mike McCarthy has a lot of say in what he did when he was with Green Bay. I could see him coming in and really wanting to try to take over and do kind of like a Mike Holmgren thing.
Out of his names, that's been, McCarthy's been linked to pretty much every open job as well.
Yeah.
So, he had a year off, and he's ready to come back, and I can see him landing in Cleveland. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. One of the things I want to mention, too, before we get on to the other vacancies right now, is after the first round of the playoffs, it's possible there could be some, more vacancies. In Minnesota, I don't think Zimmer is going to be.
I'm hearing though they did say yesterday Zimmer will be retained.
Really?
I did hear, yeah.
Okay.
That happened yesterday.
Yep.
So I don't know though. I mean, how much stock do you want to put in that? You're going up before a playoff game. The GM's getting hit with it. Yeah, they're going to say he's being retained.
After they
come on.
lose 40-10 to the Saints today or tomorrow. We'll see. And it's not uncommon. It's happened. It's happened in every.
Oh my God, I had my true faults.
It's happened in every sport. A coach does well, makes the playoffs, and they lose, and they're gone. It's possible there could be more vacancies after the first round of the playoffs. All right, moving on to Carolina. They moved on from Riverboat Ron, and again, we've heard Eric Bieniemy mentioned there. Josh McDaniels.
He is Ronald McDonald. He's a clown. He's a clown.
My name's not McDonald's. It is McDaniels.
Can I throw the pie back in your face for calling him McDonald?
Nope.
Damn it.
No. Okay. Anyways, McDaniels has been rumored for the Panthers as well. McCarthy, Matt Rule from the Baylor Bears. So, don't know who's going to be the man in Carolina yet. And, I think it's going to depend a lot on who the quarterback is going to be. Newton is most likely or is going to be gone.
I would think he is going to be gone.
Yeah. So, are they going to draft a young quarterback? Are they going to look for a young coach to groom the young quarterback in Carolina? I don't know. If they go with a veteran, say someone like Phillip Rivers, maybe. Maybe Phillip Rivers ends up in Carolina, and they bring in a veteran coach, and they take a shot at it because they have a decent defense. They got DJ Moore, they got McCaffrey. Bring in someone like a Rivers and a solid veteran head coach.
You got Eli Manning as well. Eli's already come out and said he's not sure what he wants to do, but he made it very clear he does not want to be a backup.
Right.
So, you know what? Eli, that might not be a bad spot for Eli to go ahead and new coach, new whole game plan and all that stuff. Bring him on in there for a couple years.
Yep, absolutely.
Groom a young quarterback for you guys,
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. So Carolina will be an interesting one to watch. The New Jersey Giants. Again, we got McDaniels, we got McCarthy, and Matt Rule. Those are the only names I really heard so far. So we'll see what happens with the Giants.
Well, and this isn't official yet, and I know we're going to get into this knucklehead too. But Gettleman is actually very high on Jason Garrett for reasons I have no idea. It makes no sense to me. Obviously, Jason Garrett is still under contract right now in Dallas. Jerry Jones is jerking him around. I think it's a farce. Again, we'll get into that. But I've heard Gettleman, for some reason, is high on Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's because he's
know why.
got that quarterback personality thing where he can come in and hopefully maybe help out Danny Dimes a little bit. I don't know. But I'm not understanding, and I don't really necessarily agree with hearing what Gettleman has said about Jason Garrett.
And and that's the thing too with the Giants is that's exactly what they need. Someone who can come along and groom Danny Dimes and make him into a top quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
So speaking of jerking around, Kent is wondering about your meat.
Wondering about the meat, huh? You want to know what's I got going on in the smoker today?
Yeah.
Hey, man, we got a rack of ribs going down right now for this show. Rack of baby backs that we're going to pull out here at the end here and slice them up and get into them. I've also got a bunch of beef short ribs in there that I'm going to be making a pozole rojo. Got some beef shorties in there. Got a couple of turkey legs in there. And I got an 8-pound eye-around roast in there because that's going to cool, sliced up at a nice medium rare for beef on wick sandwiches. And then later on, we're still going 100 chicken wings going down, baby. We are going all out for the playoffs.
Honey, I'm not coming home.
He's going to be in a coma in his car.
Can we open this up and show everybody?
I think we can open this bad
let me move
boy
my
up.
fat ass out of the way, and you should be able to see the meat from what I'm seeing. There you go. So
We got some turkey legs sitting over here. Got some beautiful beef short ribs sitting up over here. Got the rack of ribs down here and the 8-pound eye around over there. Oh yeah, it's gonna be some good eating.
Absolutely, can't wait. That showed up pretty good. Okay, let's see.
Up and down.
We talked about the New Jersey Giants. Let's move on to Cowboys. So we're just talking about the Cowboys and the Jason Garrett saga. Again, he's not going to be back. I think I finally saw last night that he was fired.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? I did not see that.
We were talking about this yesterday. His contract expires January 14th, so was Jerry Jones just waiting for his contract to expire and not renew it? But either way, he's not going to be back. I mean, after everything that's happened, he's not back. So
whether Jerry Jones was trying to string him along and just say, hey, this way you don't get fired, you don't have that on your resume that you were fired, we're just not going to renew your contract. Regardless, it was a crappy thing to do when his contract still doesn't run out for another week and a half. And meanwhile, other coaching vacancies are getting filled. And I thought there were going to be a lot more this year. Really not.
Yeah.
So his options are going to be a little bit limited. So I think Jerry Jones stringing him along the way he has.
Yep.
I mean, he had 2 meetings this week.
Right.
One on Tuesday, one on Thursday.
Yep.
Still nothing.
Yep.
And again, I didn't hear this report. It obviously could have come through. But what a shame over there.
It is.
But Jason Garrett is not that. I'm sorry. He's really not that good of a coach.
No, I'm surprised he lasted 10 years. And
Like a
even
Marvin
longer.
Lewis.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you have pictures with Jerry Jones and some prostitutes? Like, well, what did you have on Jerry Jones?
Pictures of him burying dead hookers. That's exactly what he had. Jason Garrett is going to be gone. We mentioned Matt Rule, the Baylor head coach. And then some other college names, too, that came up. Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma has been rumored for the Cowboys. And then Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer. I've heard that one,
came up, too. So, knowing Jerry Jones, I wouldn't be surprised for him to pull somebody out of college ranks.
He did it with Jimmy Johnson.
Right.
It worked out very, very well for him.
Yeah, it sure did.
But I just don't know if there's a name out there. I mean, even Urban Meyer, I'm not sure if Urban Meyer would want that job.
I don't know. I wouldn't. Yeah.
No.
Urban Meyer's going to have plenty of money. I don't know why he would want to do that.
Exactly. I mean, I think Urban Meyer enjoys grooming the young kids, getting them ready for NFL.
Yep.
I just don't see him. He's been in the NFL.
Yep.
And no.
Urban Meyer is not.
I'm thinking of
been
Ron
in the
Meyer.
NFL.
Sorry, I'm thinking of Ron Meyer with Indianapolis. That was a while ago. Oh no, not Urban. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he's fit for it. I just don't think he's the guy. And honestly, I wouldn't want to work for Jerry Jones or his son. I would not want to work for those two.
No, thank you. And then, so sticking to the NFC East, 3 out of the 4, they'll have 3 out of the 4 teams will have new coaches going into a 2020 season.
Yeah.
And the Redskins have already hired their coach, Riverboat Ron Rivera. is the new head coach in Washington.
Yeah.
And he's also brought along Jack Del Rio as the defense coordinator, which I like that move a lot.
I do too.
So he's completely going to change the tone and culture and everything in Washington. One of the things he already did was the first thing he did was pulled out the ping pong tables and shuffleboard tables out of the locker room at Washington. So he's all business, man. He's ready to rock and roll.
You know, you have to be. Some of these some of these owners and coaches who have the egos and have the prima donnas in there who end up controlling the team and not the head coach. That's always been your problems.
Yep.
Look, it's all business. It's a business, right? You have a job to do. You can't have fun every friggin' day and expect to just go out there, play, and win a game. I mean, you're ho-humming it. And you know what? Yeah, it's a good thing Riverboat Ron's there.
Yeah.
Hopefully Dan Snyder doesn't do what he's done in the past and actually lets him get that culture changed. Because I'm here to tell you, that does not happen in one season. It don't happen in two seasons.
No, it doesn't.
It does take at least 3 seasons to change a culture in a team, and you've got to make some hard decisions. You got to get rid of some big personalities, and you got to move on. You got to move on and get the people in there that you want in there to represent the organization. And understand you're not playing for the name on your back. You're playing for the logo that's on the helmet. That's what these young kids got to understand.
Absolutely, and I think that's kind of a culture that Ron Rivera is going to bring to the Redskins.
Yes.
And you know, I'm not a Redskins fan myself, but I don't have anything against him, and I'm excited for what he's going to do for that franchise.
Yeah.
All right, and then one other quick note on coaching before we move on. Not a hiring or firing, but Jacksonville has came out and said that they are going to stick with Doug Marrone.
Doug Marrone!
One more
He's
year.
still there.
Surprisingly, I thought they would have moved on because I think they expected a lot more out of the Jaguars. Really, the last couple of years, they haven't been who everybody thought they'd be. They got quite a bit of talent on that roster, but just haven't been able to pull it together.
They do.
And
they're not going to fill Tom Coughlin's position.
No.
They're going to keep the GM. They're going to keep the coach. And I have a funny feeling they're doing it because, honestly, I don't think they know where to go at quarterback right now. And why not ride? Because Marrone, being a moron that he is, he is going to go ahead and ride Gardner Minshew. And I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but when you got a guy in Nick Foles making the money he's making, he got hurt. He is a good quarterback. He got hurt. He was not given a chance. Doug Marrone doesn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do in Buffalo either.
No.
So he's going to go back and forth again next year. He's going to ruin it. They're going to be Jack squad again next year, and he'll be out. He'll be out next year. Mark my words, he won't be there. They're going to search for a new GM, new coach next year, and they're probably going to have a top 3 draft pick. That's where I'm going. And get themselves a quarterback.
Should we do a whipped cream pie bet on that?
No. I had enough whipped cream today.
You didn't enjoy that?
I don't need another whipped cream one even to start the end of. Fuck, I'll end up with 2 of them. Pardon my French on that.
All right. Well, that's our news, injuries, and coaching carousel for week number 18. Holy crap. Let's move on to True False.
True False from last week, and then after that, we are going to get into our 4-game wildcard preview. We're going to give you 3 keys to the game, so stay tuned. That's coming up pretty soon, but let's get into that True False from last week.
Okay, let's do it. I will lead off here.
Did good.
The first question that I asked to Buffalo Jay was about Ryan Fitzpatrick. Would he be he was a top 5 quarterback over the last 3 weeks of the season, and would he be a top 10 play against that vaunted number 1 Patriots defense? Jay said true, and sure enough, he was.
Yep.
He was the number 3 quarterback. So, that's the crazy thing. People,
Ryan Fitzmagic. I love it. I love it.
When you're drafting your fantasy team, a lot of people, and I even did this on one league, I went for Mahomes in the 3rd round. A lot of people are like, you know what, screw it. Give me my quarterback in the 10th, 11th, 12th round. You know how many times I lost to Fitzmagic in the championship game in week 16. And there's some other guy who I can't even think of who was not drafted. And I was playing Ryan Tannehill, who helped me quite a bit in the last few weeks. But these are quarterbacks that weren't even drafted. So what it tells you, and you look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was somebody who was one of the first top 4 quarterbacks taken this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I would
right?
agree with that.
So
Hell, some leagues he was taken in the first round.
yeah, yep, especially around here, right? So
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers.
yeah.
And in the last 11 weeks of fantasy football, Aaron Rodgers was QB 25.
25. I was going to say 27.
Shouldn't even be
Wow.
starting his ass. So, a 10-man league, you're not in a 12-man league, you're not even starting him. In a 2-quarterback 12-man league, you're not even starting him.
Right.
At QB 25 for 11 weeks. That's crazy. So, anyways, what it kind of tells you is, hey, wait on your quarterbacks. Don't take one early. You could probably pick up whoever's got the hot hand in the last few weeks of the season, or see who's got the easy schedule. Once you know what teams fall where, you don't need to get a quarterback in the top 3 rounds.
Last year,
I'm not doing it again.
Last year, I in our biggest money league, one of the biggest leagues I'm in, and we got a lot of money up for going for grabs there. But anyway, we got a lot of damn good players in that league. I went ahead and drafted my quarterback in round 16. I took him last. There were actually a couple of people that had 3 quarterbacks on their team during the draft because they were trying to block me from grabbing one. And I grabbed Jared Goff.
Yeah.
I grabbed Jared Goff last year, which he turned
That was a
out
great pick.
phenomenal for me
Yep.
for a week 16 pick, where you can
Round
stream.
16, yeah.
Sorry, round 16. You can stream quarterbacks. It can be done, and you can wait. You know what? Pick one up that first week of the year. Shit, coming into waivers, maybe the one that you picked isn't good enough. You can pick one up because you'll see injuries happen.
Yep.
Injuries happen, and somebody's going to step up, and you can really, really grab a quarterback off of waivers.
Absolutely.
You really can.
Absolutely. It's crazy what you can do with that position, which
Yeah.
is the highest scoring position on your team normally.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, dude.
All right, so I gave this guy true false on Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones was chasing Michael Strahan's sack record. He needed 4. He had 4 the previous week. Could he do it last week against... Oh, shit, I don't even remember who the hell he was playing now. Jeez, against Seattle, right? No, he had 4 sacks
Kind of
against
like
Seattle.
Bob Uecker.
I had it written down.
shit,
It's called,
I don't
anyhow, could he do it? This guy said, no, it's not going to happen. He was right. I mean, he didn't even have 1 sack. So he was out there the whole game, had 0. He finished, though, I tell you what, he finished strong at 19 sacks for the year. That's a really good, quiet year
great season. I like
for
him.
Chandler Jones.
Yeah,
So
yep.
good call on that.
All right, let's go. Thank you, sir. Let's move on to your next question. Baker Mayfield. He had 19 TDs and 18 interceptions going into week number 17. And I asked Jay, would he still have more TDs than picks after his game against the Bengals? And he did. He threw 3 TDs. He also threw 3 picks.
He did.
So he tried. He tried to even it up or screw it up. But needless to say, Buffalo Jay was correct on that one. 2 for 2 on his first 2 questions.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? This guy was 2 for 2 on his first 2. Last year, Mitch Trubisky threw for 3,223 yards. He was currently sitting at 29-31 last week. Could Mitch Trubisky go ahead and surpass last year's total yards? And he didn't. And you said he would not do it. He finished with 31-38. It was close.
Yeah,
It was 90 is all that he needed, but it was close. You said no. You're true. Right on.
He blows monkey chunks. All right. The last question I had for you, there were 4 players closing in on 100 receptions for the season. 3 were already there. I asked Jay, would 2 more from this list of Edelman, Keenan Allen, Travis Kelce, and Julio Jones make it? He said, yep, that's going to happen, and he's right. Julian Edelman and Keenan Allen both were able to join the Century Club for receptions with a total of 5 players this season.
Edelman barely made it.
And Keenan, I think he had like 9 catches, or he had quite a bit.
Yeah, he did.
But Kelce and Julio were in the 90s, and neither one of them made it, but it didn't matter. Jay still was correct by picking 2 of those 4 dudes to join the Century Club.
And the last one I gave him was with the Raiders. Oakland. Could they give those fans one more game, pull out the miracle,
3 for 3, A+.
make the playoffs? And some things fell their way in the beginning. It fell their way in the beginning. All they needed to do was win a freaking game, although, granted, Tennessee.
They were playing the Broncos. That's
You know.
why they didn't. Sorry.
Right. No, you're 100% right. But Brian said, no, they're not going to make the playoffs. And he was right. They did not make the playoffs. They did not get that 6th wild card seed. You as well, my friend, for the first time this year, went 3 for 3. Good job, buddy.
Hey, big fucking cheers to you, dude. We
cheers.
Both went 3 for 3 on
True
True False.
Is that my second or third one?
I feel like, A Christmas Story, when a teacher was like, he's dreaming about when she read his paper about his Red Ryder BB gun.
Yes.
And she's like, hey, plus. Yeah, exactly.
Plus. I'm going to grab another log. Well, let's get into our new True False.
All right, why don't you grab your log and I'll find some True False questions and throw at you, my friend.
It's a brand
pretty
new
heavy
true,
log there, huh, pal?
Brand new True False segment. This is where Brian's going to give me 3. I'm going to give him 3. That's 6 True Falses to you. Play along with us. Have fun. He's got the magic 8-ball back. I don't know why. Last week he didn't have it, and he went 3 for 3. So
we'll see. It might be frozen too, so I don't know. Yeah, I think it's frozen again. Well, actually, it says cannot predict now. So maybe I shouldn't use it. Maybe it's just here as a prop. We'll leave it right there. All right, are you listening?
I am. Go right ahead.
All right, here we go. Tennessee Titans.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
We're third this season. There are actually 2 teams tied for first, and they're technically third, with 56 sacks, or 3.5 sacks a game. Okay. Brady and the Patriots. Brady doesn't get sacked a hell of a lot. The Patriots lit up exactly half of that, 28 sacks over the season. Okay. So that's about 1.75 sacks per game. Will Tennessee, I'm going to phrase this in a true false, Tennessee will get 3 or more sacks versus Brady today?
No.
Okay.
No. Brady is one of those quarterbacks where he gets rid of the ball way too quick. I believe he's getting rid of the ball in 2.6 seconds or less. So our average is 2.6 seconds, I should say. So I'm definitely going to turn to the false on that one.
Okay.
Probably be at 2, though. I could see 2.
All right, there we go.
All right, well, you know what? I'm going to stay in that same game with New England and Tennessee.
Alrighty.
New England's last wild card appearance, January 10th, 2009. 10 years ago.
You mean Tennessee's?
New England's last
wild card. Sorry.
New England.
Got it. New England's last
He's not
wild
even
card.
paying. That's why he doesn't do good.
I am paying attention.
New England's last wild card appearance was January 10th, 2009. It was in Foxborough. They lost to the Ravens. 33-7 in Foxborough. Got blown out. Ray Rice had a game that game. Will New England win their first wild card game since 2006 this week against Tennessee?
So it's just will New England win, and you know what? I am going to say
so hard, isn't it? It's actually a hard one.
I think it's gonna be a great game. I really do.
I do too.
And if I look at my game notes and keys of the game here, shit. I'm gonna say yes. I think. Well, no, false. Let's go false because I'm gonna pick Tennessee to win that game.
Okay.
When we get into our game predictions here. So I'm going for a Tennessee victory, not just because I hate the Patriots, but I like what Tannehill's been doing. I like what Derrick Henry's been doing.
Yeah.
And
A.J. Brown. Come on, A.J. Brown. I mean,
the Patriots are pretty good against the run and the pass, but they're a little bit weaker against the run. And the Titans have the 3rd best rush offense in the league, so that's where they need to attack New England and control the game. And if they can do that with Derrick Henry, I think they can win the game.
I like it.
Okay. All right. This one's pretty quick and short and easy. Michael Thomas led all receivers with 1,725 yards this year.
He did.
Michael Thomas will have the most receiving yards this wildcard weekend.
Michael Thomas, most receiving yards this wildcard weekend. Yes.
Okay.
Looking at the matchups and what's going on and who's playing who.
Yep.
Yes. I believe that is an absolute no-brainer. Michael Thomas will have the most receiving yards I'm even going to go a step further. He will have the most catches than any other receiver.
For whipped cream pie?
No. No.
You didn't like it?
No, I did not. think I was more ticked off. I didn't get to lick more of it off my face.
You need a draft time.
Well, hell, you know what? Another one. I'm going to stay in that same game.
What the
This
hell?
is kind of crazy. We're in the
weird.
same game things.
Weird. Okay. All right.
All right. So, in that Minnesota and New Orleans, can Minnesota hold Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Jared Cook, Alvin Kamara? Can Minnesota hold them to under 40 points today?
I definitely think they're going to get in the 30s, and that's funny because I said they're going to win 40-10 earlier.
That's why I said, I'm like, hey, now you looking at this? Because, yeah, you did say 40. Will they get four? I'll put it this way. Can they hold them to under 40? So 39 or less. Can Minnesota hold them under 40 points?
Vikings are a middle-of-the-road defense. They're 15th against the pass and 13th against the rush. They're right in the middle there. The Saints really, they're same with their rush offense. They're kind of in the middle of the pack to number 16. And Drew Brees, though, and Michael Thomas have been super hot. Doesn't matter which field they're playing on. They're playing in a dome either way,
Yep.
whether they're in New Orleans or Minnesota, so they got the fast track. That's a great question. And
No,
as
it is. I came up with it.
I see the Saints putting an ass beating on the Vikings. You know why? Because I don't trust Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, I think, is going to turn the ball over. I think the Saints are going to, focus on shutting down Dalvin Cook, which they should do, and make Cousins try to beat them with his arm. And if they do that, that's going to be bad news for the Vikings and great news for the Saints. So sure, give me 40 points for the Saints this weekend.
All right. Can they keep them under? False.
All right.
All right.
Here we go. I was all over the board with this. I was all sorts of, after beers and edibles and everything, I just didn't know what the fuck was going on. So, Buffalo Bills, I'd love to give Jay a home
God, you
pick.
did not. See, now this
you know,
is crazy. We picked the same three games for true false.
We did, of course we did. Jay doesn't have a homer game to give me, although Bills is my homer this week, so I guess he kind of did.
Sure.
All right, Buffalo Bills. Last playoff win was in 1995.
Yes, I'm well aware of that one.
Where they combined for over 1,000 yards in total offense with the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
Bills did it on the ground. Miami did it primarily through the air. Anyways, in the Bills' 37-22 victory over Dan Marino's Dolphins. Okay.
You could at least said the Jim Kelly led Buffalo Bills. You had to say Dan Marino's name, but not Jim Kelly. Come on.
Marino threw for 432 yards. His name deserves to be said. Okay.
All right.
So.
Then bring up Thurman Thomas.
So anyways, here we go. So, Texans and Bills here. The combined on the season, they averaged 692 yards of offense. Combined on defense, they averaged letting up about 686. So pretty much in the same ballpark, within 6 yards.
Sure.
So 690-ish, say, total yards that they let up. I can't even read my handwriting. I was so stoned. Will both teams go over? I don't even know what I said. Will we see either 500 yards combined, passing or rushing, this week from Houston and Buffalo? So 500 yards combined, either rushing or passing from either team.
Okay, so hang on. Now you're saying
Either or.
combined.
Yeah.
Over 500 yards.
Over 500 yards, rushing or passing combined.
Well, there's no way they're going to go over 500 yards rushing.
Okay.
That's you're talking like 250 yards each team. Not
Right,
going to happen. 250 yards passing by each team. If it was passing yards, I'm going to tell. Well, rushing yards, I'm going to tell you no.
Okay. Yeah.
If
So
it
either
was
one,
passing yards, though,
Will there be over 500 passing yards in this game? Yes or no?
That's actually tough. That is actually tough because Buffalo does hold their defense, their quarterbacks. Passing yards. Buffalo's holding teams to 195 yards. Houston 267. I mean, that is really tough.
It's tough.
I don't think Josh Allen's gonna get the 250 mark, although the secondary's banged up for Houston.
Yep.
Wow. 500 yards passing combined.
Is it
You
gonna
know what? I'm
happen?
going to go with false. I'm going to go with false. They will not go over 500 combined passing yards.
Okay. All right, there you go.
Okay. My last true-false question, then we can get into our game previews because I can't wait for that, is this is Houston's sixth wild card game since coming into the league as the Texans. All 6 of those games have been played in Houston. They are 3-2. They lost last year to the Colts, 21-7. Will the Texans outscore Buffalo today?
Will they outscore them? I mean,
That means a win.
Will the Texans win?
Yeah. I added the outscore. It just sounds better. I'm confusing you because you're like, shit, I don't know what the hell's going on anymore.
So we're getting to my game predictions. So I already picked. I picked New Orleans to win. I picked Tennessee to win. This is another game prediction for me, and I'm picking Buffalo to win this game. So no, I don't think it's going to happen. If Will Fuller plays, I don't think he's going to be 100%. J.J. Watt's going to play, but he's not 100%. I think Buffalo is too good on the defensive side of the ball, much better than Houston is. And I think the defense is going to win the game here. So
I like it. I like it. Right on.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. Let's get into our wild card preview segment of the game. Here's what we're going to be doing for you guys. We're actually going to go ahead and giving you 3 keys to the game. I'm going to give you 3 keys from a certain team. He's going to give you 3 keys from a certain team as well. So we're going to pick different teams. We got them kind of here. I'm not going to be a homer. I didn't take the Bills to give you 3 keys to their victory. I want to hear what he's got to say. And hey, we're going to debate it. You guys tell us what you think if you want. Stay tuned. Here it comes. Which game are we going to get into first?
Let's just go down the road. First game up.
First game up
is Buffalo at Houston. All right?
I like it.
So, Buffalo at Houston. Buffalo all-time playoff record 14-16. Houston Texans all-time playoff record is 3-5.
Yeah.
Houston's actually laying 2.5 at home. We got a 43-point over/under on this game. Before I get into much else, let's talk about Buffalo. I was assigned Buffalo to pick their keys, 3 keys to win this game today. So, number 1, they need to take away the deep ball from Deshaun Watson and the Texans' offense. We talked about this earlier in the show. It'll be easier to do without Will Fuller. If Will Fuller's in there, they got to make sure they don't go over the top and limit those plays downfield that are 20 yards or more, because that's where Watson excels. So I think if Buffalo can stop that, that's going to be a great chance for them to win this game.
You know, I like where you're going with that, and I would have to agree with you. Now, Buffalo... Yeah, Buffalo stopping the deep pass is going to be key. Buffalo has not given up many big passing plays whatsoever this year, so I think it definitely can happen. They got a veteran defensive backcourt with their safeties, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. They really got the entire secondary just running on all cylinders right now. And Tre'Davious White, I mean, very underrated. Yes, he made the Pro Bowl. Yes, he made the AP's All-Team. But he is a very underrated cornerback. And you know what? He has not given up a touchdown all year. 84 attempts, the most by any cornerback. Not giving up a touchdown. So, I would have to agree with you that they do got to stop it, but I think they will.
They got to stop it. Well, listen, a lot depends on what's going on with Fuller. Fuller's out. You got Tre'Davious White. He's matched up on Hopkins. You don't have much after that, really. Kenny Stills has been banged up, and Kuti doesn't do much for me. No Fuller. White could do a good job on knocking on Hopkins. Hopkins will probably get a little bit, but he's not going to go ham against a stud like White.
Right.
But Fuller in there, now that takes some of that safety coverage. You can't really double. You got some more one-on-ones with Hopkins. It might free some things up, moving around, moving to the slot or something like that. So you have some more options. So a huge thing is Fuller going to play. Don't know. All right, the next thing I had too, it's kind of an obvious thing, but note that I made, control the clock. Buffalo needs to control the clock, attack Houston on the ground. Houston has the 25th worst rushing defense in the league. and their pass defense is actually worse, is 29th. But anyways, keep the ball away from Deshaun Watson, keep the ball away from DeAndre Hopkins and their playmakers on offense. They have a crappy run D, so run the ball, keep the ball, and keep away from Watson and the offense.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
And then the last point I have here for Buffalo is 10 times this year, Buffalo has been able to hold their opponents to 17 points or less, and they're 9-1 in those games. So the only loss was a 16-10 loss to the stupid Patriots. So again, hold Texans to 17 points or less, and Buffalo's got this thing in the bag.
I like it. You know what? Yeah, 3 keys for Houston, and it's kind of going a little bit even with what B-Rye's saying over here. But number 1 is Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, he needs to have a good game because lately he has not been. He's been throwing a lot of interceptions. He's kind of running around there. He's taking some sacks, and I think it's going to be tough for him this week. He's going against a really, really stout defense in Buffalo. I mean, passing-wise, they are 3rd in the league against the pass. They are 3rd overall in total yards, 2nd overall in points given up. Buffalo's defense is stout. Deshaun Watson has got to have a mistake-free game.
Yeah.
If he starts turning over the ball, it's going to be over. Now, Buffalo's defense is averaging about 30 minutes, basically half the game, on defense. So, you know what? Not very, very good balance for Buffalo as far as offense and defense, 30-30. And believe it or not, Houston's offense is right there.
Yeah.
They're averaging 29 minutes and 56 seconds per game. So, right there as well. So, I think it's going to bode very well. But Deshaun Watson, I think he's got to stay poised. I think he's got to be patient.
Yep.
Because DeAndre Hopkins is not going to open up a lot today, okay? Tre'Davious had a good game against him last year when they played in Houston. I believe he held DeAndre Hopkins to 5 catches for 60 yards, no touchdowns. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does here with the matchups that he's going to get. Levi Wallace is going to be the one for me that if he is out there and he's playing on a bad ankle, I think Deshaun Watson is going to have to try to exploit him. He's been exploited a lot this year.
That's the guy to go after.
And that is Kenny Stills. You know, whether Will Fuller's playing or not, Kenny Stills has got to come up big for them. So Deshaun Watson is definitely a big key to this game and making sure he knows what he's doing and what have you. Another big key for the Texans today, if they do want to pull out a win, is going to be running back. They have a very good 2-headed monster there with Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson. Both guys are sitting in the top 57 for running backs throughout the entire year. Both of them are doing very, very well. You've got Carlos Hyde, who has been averaging 4.4 a carry, and you got Duke Johnson averaging 4.9 a carry. Now, Buffalo's defense, on the other hand, they're only giving up just under 4 yards a carry. So Buffalo's defense has got to keep them in check. It's going to be up to Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson to really do some good for that. Deshaun Watson, again, going back to him, he's got to use that play-action pass. And I tell you what, you're not going to get the play-action set up unless you have a strong running game.
Yep.
So they're going to have to get off, and they're going to have to get off fast and furious.
Yeah, they are.
And lastly, I think another key for the Texans, if they want to pull out this victory, is J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt is just, you know what, he is not just a stand-up dude in the NFL. I mean, J.J. Watt is a class act. That is, if I have a player I'm getting out of college, I want them to look up to him on defense.
Oh, absolutely.
J.J. Watt is just a stand-up guy. He plays hard. He's coming back from a pectoral tear in 8 weeks.
Yep.
That's unheard of, okay? He's going to be out there. If you want to set a precedent, Houston, you go out there on defense. If J.J. Watt ends up with a sack or a tackle to Frank Gore or Devin Singletary in the backfield in the first series, that'll get that crowd pumped up.
Oh, hell yeah.
He will get that entire defense pumped up.
Yeah, he's a leader.
And I'll tell you right now, it could bode very, very badly for Buffalo. If he gets going, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Because I believe he's got that capability. the fan base in Houston, they really, really, really love J.J. Watt. And, I mean, hell, the
As they
fan base
should. As they
outside of
should.
Houston loves J.J.
I
Watt.
love J.J. Watt. He's a great guy.
So it's going to be up to J.J. Watt to really get that crowd going. It's not going to be Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry. He's not really a leader to me on that team. It's J.J. Watt's team. And it's going to be his way or the highway. He's got to get him going. But if it doesn't happen, it could be a long day for him. It really could be.
Steve Watson is actually pretty cool with his the story with his mother, and she lost her sight a long time ago.
Yeah,
He's still so she can't see. She comes to every game's in the front row, and every time Watson scores the TD, the first thing he does is walk over and gives the ball to his mama.
Yeah,
love that. Very cool. So we're talking about J.J. Watt. I haven't looked this up, but when's the last time you had three brothers playing all in the league at the same time? How cool was
right
that
now.
too?
Right now,
Well,
the Edmonds.
Well, I know. Well,
the Edmonds brothers, one with Buffalo, two with Pittsburgh.
Really? There's
Yep.
three Edmonds.
There's three Edmonds.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So wow, the Watts and the Edmonds family, they're doing all right.
They are doing
and
okay.
like I said,
Yes.
Excuse me here, but
It doesn't happen often though.
No. Well. Okay. So that's an interesting thing. So we got two sets of three brothers playing in the league at the same time. Has that ever happened before?
Probably not. I would have to venture to say no.
That's interesting.
No on that one.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on then. That's Buffalo and Houston.
Game predictions.
Well, right, exactly right. So I am picking Buffalo to win this game. I mentioned that they need to hold the Texans to 17 or less. So why don't you give me Buffalo 24 and Houston 17?
Okay. Here is where I'm going with this, and this is going to be an odd one for you guys. But I do believe there's going to be a 2-point conversion in the game. I like Buffalo in this one. Surprise, surprise, right? But no, in all honesty, 22-19.
22-19.
That's what I'm liking this week. And I think Buffalo's got the defense, the better defense. And I personally believe McDermott is going to have this team
3-point
focused.
game. Okay.
Focused.
There you go. Okay. Sounds good. So we both like Buffalo to win. What do you guys think? Let us know on our page.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game tonight, which is the Tennessee Titans at the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
All time in the playoffs, Tennessee is 15-20, and the Patriots are 37-20. So Patriots have done this a few times.
A time or two.
Yeah.
A time or two.
Let's go to. I have the Titans. I've been assigned the Titans for this game, and I'll talk about their three keys to win. First one I have down here is get to Tom Brady.
Nice.
Tennessee was third in sacks. They need 3 or more sacks, I think, to rattle Brady and make him have some. Where are you going? Make him throw some shitty passes. So get to Brady. He's got Edelman. He doesn't have a lot much else after that. He's got a couple running backs. So Michelle and White are pretty good on his offense. But get to him, pressure him, and make the old man get rid of the ball and make him make quick decisions. So I think that's a big key for Tennessee is pressure the quarterback. Another big thing I have down here is control the line of scrimmage. So they got to get Derrick Henry going. The Patriots actually have the number 6 rush defense, so they're pretty good there. And the Titans have the number 3 rush offense. So you got two strengths going against here. Tennessee's running game against the Patriots running defense. But get Derrick Henry going, keep the ball out of Tom Brady's hands. Get the game far enough where you don't give Tom Brady 2 minutes with only 3 points to get in the last 2 minutes of the game, because he's going to get it. So don't give that bullshit. You need to be up by double digits if you want to win this game towards the end. And then the last thing I have here is also find A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is the rookie from Ole Miss who had over 1,000 yards in his rookie season.
Yep.
I think we talked about Stephon Gilmore offline, and Stephon Gilmore is normally gets matched up against a big body receiver. The big body receiver on the Titans is Corey Davis. Corey Davis is 6'3" versus A.J. Brown 6'1". So I think he might see a little bit more of Corey Davis. We'll see. So that if that is the case, then frickin' feed A.J. Brown. Feed your rookie. Feed Derrick Henry. Those are your strengths. Ryan Tannehill has been one of the top quarterbacks over the last few weeks of the season. He's been super hot, and I think he's earned himself at least probably the franchise tag for Tennessee next year. So that's what the Titans
Ryan Tannehill is averaging 9.6 yards a pass.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is at 6.
Right.
Big difference there. I mean, Ryan Tannehill is definitely a huge key to the success on that Tennessee team.
You know who the number 1 rated quarterback was at the end of the season?
Jameis Winston, I believe, wasn't he?
Ryan Tannehill.
Okay, there you go.
Ryan Tannehill had the highest quarterback rating at the end of the season.
Highest quarterback rating.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's what I meant. Highest quarterback rating was none other than Ryan Tannehill. So again,
little over what, 116, 115, something like that.
116, 17, somewhere around there. So yeah, get to Brady, control the line of scrimmage, get Henry going, and feed AJ Brown. That's what the Titans need to do to win the game today.
I like it.
All right.
My 3 keys for New England to actually win this game, and it kind of piggybacks a little bit off of what you have going on. Number 1 is stopping the run. Control Derrick Henry. It's going to be, I think, personally, one of their toughest challenges this year for New England to be able to contain Derrick Henry, as it has been for many teams this year.
Yeah.
He did not win the rushing title just by looking pretty. No. Derrick Henry is a force to be reckoned with. Hey, I don't know if you guys heard this. Winter Storm Henry is hitting New England. I mean, talk about the odds. Is it ironic that the storm by the National Weather Service is named Henry, and it's hitting New England today? They're looking for major snow coming in, starting off as rain right now. And I'll tell you what, New England, not only do you have to contain Derrick Henry, but you guys got to watch out for Winter Storm Henry as well. And it might be one and the same this week. So New England definitely has got to stop Derrick Henry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely a key to this game.
He's a key on both sides of the ball.
And Tom Brady. Who are we going to get for Tom Brady? Are we going to get Tom Brady, who is throwing for 120 yards? Or are we going to get Tom Brady, who's throwing for 330 yards? That's the big question there, because Tom Brady, he has been seriously up and down this year. And when he goes against good defenses, and I believe Tennessee passing, they're not so great right now. I mean, they're giving up 255 yards a game in the air. It's right around the realm of Tom Brady, who is throwing for 253 a game. So New England. Jesus Christ. Tom Brady.
Where are we?
Oh, God, I hate talking about him. But anyway, Tom Brady has got to exploit that defense if he can and really come out there firing. He's not going to throw the ball deep. He's not going to do it. He doesn't have anybody to throw too deep. But he's going to kill you if you let him stand back there and pick you apart. So Tom Brady is going to be a big key to that success and getting rid of the ball quickly with short passes more than likely.
Okay.
And then lastly is Julian Edelman. I think Julian Edelman is a huge key to that passing offense because, look, Tom Brady last week, good example. Edelman had 3 catches. 3 catches last week. And here's a guy who had 100 over the season. Yes, he's playing injured. But if he's not involved heavily in the game, they lose the game. It's that simple. So Edelman has got to come out. He's got to get open. Brady's got to find him. And they're going to give some fits to that Tennessee team. So Edelman, Brady, and stopping Derrick Henry are my 3 keys to New England winning this game.
There you go. I like it. You know, before we move on from the AFC to the NFC, we have Broadway Joe Namath sitting here. We'll talk about him at all or not really?
Do we want to make any guarantees?
Are there any guarantees?
Are there any guarantees? I'm not making a guarantee.
Okay, all right.
I know, because I don't want to get the pie in the face.
It's not often that Broadway Joe visits our show, but we had to give a shout out to him. Thanks, Joe. Hope you're sober today. Okay, let's move on to the NFC games.
What about the prediction? What's your prediction
fine.
on that
Let's
one?
predict a prediction for this game. I did write it down, but I forgot to talk about it. All right. My prediction for this game, I got the Tennessee Titans winning by 8. Titans 28, New England 20.
I like it. Okay. I personally have this one going 19-17. 1917 Tennessee in this game. I believe it's going to be too much. I believe they're going to really, I think Derrick Henry's going to run all over them, especially in the snow. So I'm liking Tennessee in this 19-17. It's not because I'm hating on the Patriots. I just think they're in a really vicarious state.
Yep.
And they have been slowly declining throughout the year.
There you go. Okay. Sounds great. Let's move on to the NFC.
Yes.
How about that?
Vikings, Saints.
Vikings, Saints. All right. Well, on the NFC side, I have New Orleans. They got the home team in this first game. Minnesota, their overall playoff record is 20-29. Saints is 9-11. Neither one of them have a winning record in the playoffs. This is a rematch of 2 years ago in the Minnesota Miracle with Stephon Diggs and that 61-yard tutty.
Yep. Hey! Wasn't that ironic?
That's pretty goddamn funny.
That is funny.
Oops.
Would have been funnier if it happened after we made our predictions.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So, anyways, a rematch of the Minnesota Miracle. New Orleans keys to the game. I have stacked the line and make Cousins try to beat you with his arm.
Okay.
So you got to stop Dalvin Cook. That's the best player on the Vikings offense. And Kirk Cousins, in all honesty, is the worst player in the Vikings offense. So make Cousins beat you with his arm and stop the run. Another note I have here for the New Orleans Saints. It's not broke, don't fix it. Feed the beast, Michael Thomas. We talked about him earlier in the show as well. He's the number one receiver in the NFL. The guy catches every dang thing you throw to him. Keep throwing him the ball. Feed him as much as you can. I don't care if you throw to him five or six times a quarter. Do it. He's the best. He's the best player on the field. Give the ball to Michael Thomas, and good things will happen. And the last note I have in this is no more miracles. Keep the receivers in front of you, and keep Marshawn Lattimore on Stephon Diggs to make sure he doesn't pull another miracle out of his ass. Adam Thielen's still bugging with that hammy. He's been back the last couple weeks. He hasn't done jack shit. So lock down Lattimore on Diggs, and keep the receivers in front of you, and don't let that Minnesota Miracle happen again. But I don't think the game's going to be that close for them to worry about the Minnesota Miracle again. I gave an early prediction earlier, 40-10. I might adjust that a little bit, but I got to stick with my 40. But those are my keys for the Saints to win this game against the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, so I ended up getting the Vikings to give you guys 3 keys on how the Vikings could possibly pull this one out. Granted, I really don't see this happening, but you know what? Kirk Cousins, are you getting good Kirk or are you getting bad Kirk? And it's going to really rely on him. It's not going to rely on Dalvin Cook. I know Dalvin Cook's going to be a big key, but honestly, Kirk Cousins is the number one key to this game if Minnesota has a chance. He's got to be able to keep up with Drew Brees. Plain and simple. Drew Brees is going to put up the points. He's going to put up the yards. Bottom line.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins has got to be able to match him. Is Adam Thielen going to be all right 100%? Stephon Diggs, Kyle Rudolph. What's going to happen? And you know what? I haven't heard anybody call Kirk Cousins out. Now, Kirk Cousins, when he got called out earlier this season, he started performing.
Thielen. Yeah.
And then Stephon Diggs called him.
Yep.
He was performing in the middle of the season. He has dropped off. He's lost a step. Kirk Cousins has got to go ahead and try to take advantage of the Saints and their secondary. They are a little banged up back there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very important. Next one on my list is the Minnesota Vikings secondary. Now, they are hurting. They're giving up 233 yards in the air. That's not terrible. They're actually right in the middle of the road. We talked about it earlier, but only giving up 233 yards in the air. They have got to try to contain Jared Cook, Michael Thomas, Ted Ginn. They have got to really contain these guys and set a precedence. Be there. Hit those guys hard when they're coming over the middle or what they're doing. Set a precedence. Hit them. The secondary is key in this game. Big time. And lastly is Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is a big one. New Orleans has the 4th best running defense in the league. They're giving up under 92 yards a game. They're giving up 4.2 on average. Dalvin Cook needs to be the Dalvin Cook that he was in the season early on, getting himself over, I think currently he was at 4.5. He needs to be where he was in the beginning of the season at 5.5. So Dalvin Cook's got to get going in this game. Kirk Cousins work off that play action, much like I said with Deshaun Watson, and they'll have a chance. But seriously, I just...
It's going to be tough. I mean, the Saints got the number 4 run D in the league.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough for Dalvin Cook. Where the Saints can be vulnerable more is against the pass with their number 20 ranked defense. But, again, we're expecting Kirk Cousins to attack that, and you're asking for a lot there.
Yeah.
Anyways... what do you got for a score there, pal?
I got 43-13. I do. And honestly, the 13 points by Minnesota, they're coming in garbage time. I mean, seriously.
Yep.
I believe the Saints are going to roll this one. I really do.
I think so, too. I think the Saints are going to beat the crap out of them. Actually, I give the Vikings a little more credit. I go out 41-24 New Orleans in this game. But both of us are expecting big things on New Orleans offense and not a hell of a lot. And the same thing, Vikings might get a garbage touchdown or maybe a field goal there. So that's what I'm rolling with for that game.
Let's get into the last game. I'm going to go first so that way after I'm done,
okay,
I can pull off these ribs. We can slice them up, get ourselves out of here. We got the Seahawks going into Philadelphia, a hostile environment in Philadelphia. We know how those fans are. They can't stand Santa Claus, for crying out loud. So, hey, you got Seattle rolling into there. One of the big keys for them is going to be running back. Look, they've lost Chris Carson. They've lost Rashad Penny. Chris Carson, even with him being gone, he finished in the top 6 in running backs this year. It's a huge miss for them. They've got Travis Homer. Homer played a good game last week, and so did Beast Mode. Marshawn Lynch is back. He had a pretty damn good, I'm going to call it a preseason game last week. He had a good game coming back out of retirement. I believe this is the game Marshawn Lynch is going to be touted heavily. They are going to rely on him over Homer this week. I truly, truly believe that. So running back-wise, Marshawn Lynch has to be the beast mode of old in order for Seattle to go ahead and get this game. Another one is Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett has had such an up-and-down season as a number 1 wide receiver. I mean, the last few weeks of the year, he's almost been non-existent. The secondaries have been all over him. And it's given a little bit away to DK Metcalf. But at the same token, it's created fits.
Another solid rookie.
So, yes. And Tyler Lockett, I think he needs to be that number 1. He's got to come out there strong against the Philadelphia secondary, who has struggled this year. Tyler Lockett's got to be running those routes, get behind that secondary, and be the Tyler Lockett as a number 1 wide receiver that he was earlier in the year.
Yep, there you go.
Lastly is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a gamer, period. Russell Wilson, though, has also been sacked 3rd most in the league this year. Russell Wilson needs to protect the ball and watch for the collapse of the pocket. Do what Russell Wilson was doing last year, earlier this year, the year before. Start running a little bit more, Russell. That's my thing on you. Start running a little bit more. Get outside that pocket when you see it collapse. Make those plays with your legs. I know you're getting older, but Russell Wilson is definitely a huge key to this game. Where the hell did that breeze come from?
I have no idea. Shit's flying everywhere. Anyways,
Russell Wilson is a huge key to this game. He's the general of that team. Honestly, it's an offensive thing for me. Against with Seattle going against Philadelphia in the hostile environment, you want to keep that crowd in check, put some points on the board. Offensively, they got to do it.
There you go. Okay, you know what? My case obviously should play off of yours, and they kind of do. So on Seattle, their side, Philadelphia rather. Philadelphia's keys to the game. Last time they met, Seattle won this game. It was a low-scoring game. And Zach Ertz had 12 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. So they need Dallas Goedert to be Zach Ertz. They need to get Dallas Goedert involved in this game and make him a key part of their offense because they don't have a lot of receivers. Obviously, they don't have Ertz again, but you can show that Seattle cannot cover the tight end very well. So feed Goddard early and often and make him a big part of your offense and a focal point against Seattle's 27th ranked pass defense. Next key that I had for the Philly is get to Russell Wilson. So Jay talked about Wilson, not getting sacked, and last time these two teams met, the Eagles sacked Wilson 6 times. So they need to do the same, keep him uncomfortable, keep him moving around in that pocket, and keep the pressure on the quarterback. And last but not least, for the keys for the Eagles here is stop the run. The Seahawks are the 4th ranked rushing. Even with all the running backs, half the running backs or all the running backs being on injured reserve, they're still the number 4 rushing offense in the NFL.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
it is crazy. It really is.
So what are you going to do to your opponent? Stop what they're good at. They're the 4th rushing offense, their 14th passing offense. Stack the line, stop the run, and it should be easier with a rusty old. Crusty, rusty Marshawn Lynch and some other Homer dude in the backfield for the Seahawks. So stop that run, and they should be in good shape. However, my prediction for the last game of the week on Sunday night is I have the Seahawks on the road upsetting the Eagles 23-20.
Wow. Okay. Yep. I have the Seahawks taking down Philadelphia 23-17.
Oh shit.
23-17. That's my prediction on that one. I believe we got the same teams in every game.
Yeah, I think we do.
So,
different scores.
Different
so maybe
scores.
we'll rank each other on our scores. I forgot to mention actually this game, Seattle's 16-16 overall in the playoffs. Philly is the only other team in this round that has a winning playoff record, 23-22.
Oh shit.
And Seattle is the only team that's 500 at 16-16. So don't know what that's going to do for them. Seattle is favored by 1.5 and a 45.5 over under. Jay and I are right in that ballpark. And it's actually kind of fun.
Jesus! What the hell's going on all of a sudden?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
No, I don't either. What the hell?
Oh, boy.
But you know what? The show must go on.
The show goes on.
We don't care. Shit falls over. Shit breaks.
Oh, we got ribs.
We got ribs.
We do have...
We lost the I was going to say Cool Whip. It's not Cool Whip. Whipped cream.
Ready Whip?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't need any more of that anyway. So
no.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah, unless we make another bet.
No. I am not making a bet with more whipped cream because that's no fun for me. But you know what we do?
Fun for me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure it was, Brian. Hey, this has been a great show. Wildcard Weekend. I mean, there's nothing better. There really isn't nothing better than football.
There's nothing better than football. We love it. You love it. That's why we're here. That's why you're here. And
hey, mishaps happen. There's no editing going on. This shit's all damn live.
Lost the fucking Texans helmet.
I'm sure it's around.
Shit. Oh yeah, it's under the grill.
We'll grab it.
We'll grab it. It's all right. Hey, that's what Jay wants to see, anyways. So Jay's got some ribs. We got some food. We're excited about this.
Man, these are just good golly. Good golly. Look at nice, beautiful, smoked for 6 hours. Not too shabby right here with some beautiful baby back ribs. We're going to go ahead. We're going to eat up. We're going to get ready for some wild card weekend, some wild card games. It's a great Saturday.
It's a freaking
fantastic Saturday for me. I'm hoping it ends that way for me.
Yep.
And
so too,
I'm really looking forward to this game.
I am too. I love doing this show. We're out in the elements, as you can see. We got nothing to hide here. Our shit falls all over our set. There's whipped cream pies in the face. There's food being cooked. There's ribs being eaten. So thanks again for watching the show. Thanks for supporting us. We see a lot of the same faces here every week, and we appreciate your loyalty.
Yep.
And, again, tell your friends, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, coworkers, and everybody else about the show.
Guys, we're going to be here next weekend, same time. It's going to be divisional round. Divisional round next weekend, Saturday games. We'll be here again at 10 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Good with you?
Yeah, sure.
10 a.m. tomorrow
Random
Central,
better
11 a.m. on Eastern. So look for us next week. I don't know if we'll have the Stampede going. I guess it depends on what happens with Buffalo. We'll have to figure that one out.
It depends.
It's been a great show.
It's been a fantastic show.
Let's go, Buffalo!